burning star. Night or day, I'll put my vibes on play. Never stop until they say, okay.
Those words you said, true and fact. Don't delay it, talking at reasons why we co-created burning star.
We walk like warriors in Babylon, my word is born. I know we gonna spar, but still we got to keep it on.
Words born, right or wrong, they bring the war. We bring the corn just like a storm. We reign supreme, this thing, the dream, all over the come out and play, warriors, come out and play,
Yo, we intrigue all of those who never discipline their deeds, and the chosen are few, so it's our destiny to lead. In physical form, I stone this world with conviction. I love the righteous and poor, and keep our lessons non-fiction. So, listen and heed, you must feel like a slave to live like a king in these lands of the brave.
where the warriors run, never fear from God, but running all the spirit, every taste of this, I think I'm warriors, come out and play, warriors, come out and play.
Oh man, hanging on by a thin, struggle streaming thread. Yeah. Let's see it. Good Lord, oh my goodness. Well, as you heard, the call out to all the warriors was had. And let's just cross our fingers that OBS sticks together. I was testing it all day today. And sure enough, still, right as I go, I don't know what's going on. We'll get it together. In any case, this evening is a different kind of show. And I want you all to kind of brace yourself. And good evening, Lita. Good evening, Lizard Tree. And anyone else that happens to catch this. I don't know how long this is going to go or how short it's going to be. I'm willing to take call-ins for observation after I share with you the video that I'm going to share. But I urge viewer discretion. I urge you to, well, make of it what you will. I can't say that I'm sharing this lightly. I can't say that this evening is a normal, fun, kind of wacky stream. I'm not going to go unhinged. This is kind of newsworthy at least. And on a night like tonight, here in LA, where it's really cold outside, I have to wonder where Nova is and if she's okay. And that's out of context. But I believe that you will feel the same at some point coming up here soon. Because tonight I am sharing the story where I ask the question, who's watching Nova? Who allows, who looks away from an obvious tragedy, from one that is mirroring so distinctly something we've seen before.
Never even recorded you. Oh God, I never recorded you. You said I was recording. But yeah, you basically said what you just say. It was like when you in the house, you be itching to go outside because of what?
Because I know what I can do. I know that I can go get my money on my own. But
what I'm going to share with you this evening is nothing less than the lowest possible level of the dregs of Los Angeles exhibited and being used upon the most vulnerable. There's no excuses for what I'm going to share. There's no excuses for what is happening to this person. There's no excuses for a 13-year-old to be walking what we call the Blade here in Los Angeles. Now, if you don't know what the Blade is, you're lucky. If you've never seen it, you don't need to. So the truth is it's a terrible, terrible place. It's there alongside and connected to Skid Row. Although it doesn't encompass all of it. It is a portion known for the streetwalkers, drug dealers, and vicious crime. And what I am reporting on tonight.
That's not good, because I still want to be with my sisters.
What about with me?
Yeah, with you too.
But like, is it a certain reason how I act? Keep it real, because, you know, I ain't gonna edit it out. How I act is the reason why you want to leave.
Sometimes, when you be like, not like that, but like when you bringing up school, like, no, I'm not doing school. And then when you bring up old stuff, I don't like that man.
What I'm covering tonight
That's the only thing.
is the story of Nova
That's it.
and how I fear we may be
You don't like going
seeing
through my phone no more, so that's not even nothing.
something we wouldn't have
So I
seen
basically let you just make the choice.
you let
if
me
somebody
get-
hadn't
yeah,
have
you
taken
let me-
advantage of the
You gave
situation.
me more leeway now.
But I don't
And
like
And we
what
should
you're doing.
kind of be
Leave,
thankful
like-
that somebody
Like, stay, or you can't go this, you have to ask me. You be talking
somebody
about-
messed up.
You be standing in front of the door like,
Okay, so
And now we know.
you gonna get it together though, but we gotta figure out what.
not school.
Online school.
Her mother says online school. This is Nova. Nova is 13 years old. 14 in this video. Nova has spent some portion of the last year walking the Blade. And that is exactly as you believe it to be. And I am going to share what I think is one of the most dubious and it's just horrible. It's one of the worst stories I've come across that seems to be missing a lot of the nuance and understanding, as well as nobody's looking beyond this person, or how many others, or why is this allowed, or are her parents in jail? Currently, no. Not as of today. And, most of the story comes out of their mouths. Hi, everybody. I'm AronMSound, and this is the show known as Lookup, where I interject myself into a conversation that nobody, and tonight especially me, wants me to be involved in. I have gone through a lot of pains about this. I was shut down by OBS. I believe, by the natural hand of order, let's say. The Absolute made its declaration about me sharing this pretty clear. And even tonight, even though I had been testing all day long, right beforehand, stream cut. It shut down OBS several times, actually. Saying that, I hesitate, and it hurts me to share what I'm sharing this evening. It's terrible to find out that your worst nightmare, your worst fears is here in your own hometown. That people are just allowing children, I don't care if she's a teenager, she's a child, to walk the blade. This is just one area of Los Angeles. There's many, many, many of them. And LA isn't a naturally dangerous place. No, it's really in small districts and areas that you can point out. But in those areas, the viciousness and the ruthlessness and the behaviors, and that ruthlessness caused by scarcity of funds, scarcity of food, scarcity of home, scarcity of oversight, scarcity of care, scarcity of love. These things, love especially, care for one another, is not just a non-existent or desert-like state there, but it's an environment where love is a weakness most people can't afford. Think about that. A place where empathy is a liability, vulnerability, and you're dead. This is the Blade. This is Skid Row, 5th Street and Hill, Los Angeles, California. This is 2023. Over 100 years from the time that area was designated as Skid Row by the planners of this county. So you tell me, after you see this, whether or not any of this is a call or a reason to be concerned about the powers that be, who have turned blind eyes to what they claim are just, casualties of the normal environment. I can't imagine anyone that would believe that she could be a casualty of the normal environment, that anyone could be the casualty of the normal environment just because, and mind you, just because it's too hard for some to share out of their ideologies, self-importance, need for a quote-unquote bag. Look, I would even point the finger at the larger county holding $30 billion plus in holdings when people like this are on the street, not going to school. Why? Because there's just absolute loss of concern for people. So those in the systems, they don't care. It's a way to make a consistent income. And I say this really, truly making this accusation because I have repeatedly run across this in my journey in life of those involved with systems that are supposed to protect people in the public being nonchalant or seeing so many hurt that they just believe that nobody can be saved or that everybody is evil. And that's not the fucking truth. I'll tell you what the truth is. And if you don't like it, say la fucking be. Where's the damn police? Yeah. Where's the damn police? The truth is, my friends, that there is a spiritual struggle between those who will return a shopping cart and those who indignantly think it's below them. It's not just the haves and the have-nots. It's the some believe some can and some believe others cannot. It literally boils down to supremacy of one nature or another. And I'm sorry, I am really upset by this. Because what I'm going to share is downright as dark as it gets. Avatar usage, I would say, in some format. But worse, because it connects to a story you and I have seen right here. Because I fear that right now, Nova is being taken right into the jaws of some unknown that's already taken the life as far as we know, of one person. And maybe that's associated. Maybe the treatment's associated. We don't know. But what we do know is that the program and the people involved and the subject are all very much the same. Ladies and gentlemen, who's watching Nova?
I even recorded you. Oh God, I never recorded what you just said. I listened to you before I turned it off. But yeah, you basically said what you just say. It was like when you in the house, you be itching to go outside because of what?
Because I know what I could do. I know that I could go get my money on my own. But that's not good.
She said she's allowed to go get her money.
What about with me?
Yeah, with you too.
That's
But
said.
like,
It's
is
not
it a
what she wants
certain
for her
reason
sisters.
how I act? Keep it real, because you know I ain't gonna edit it out. How I act is the reason why you want to leave.
Sometimes, when you be like, not like that, but like when you bringing up school, like no, I'm not going to school. And then when you bring up old stuff, I don't like that man.
That man. When you bring up school, when you bring up old school stuff like that man. So clearly we're talking about an environment where she doesn't feel comfortable at home for one reason or another. And her mother will say that she is a runaway in another video. But at this point in time, she's in the car with her. She's with her mother. And her mother's trying to strike a deal about school.
That's the only thing.
This is from 3 weeks ago.
That's it. And when you like, you don't like going through my phone no more, so that's not even nothing. Right?
So I basically let you just make the choice.
Yeah, you let me.
And wait.
Yeah, you gave me more leeway now.
But I don't like what
you
you're
just don't
doing
let
now.
me leave.
She gave her more leeway now, but she doesn't let her leave. What? I'm not clear on why a discussion like this would happen at all. She's a minor, much less she is she's a 13-year-old girl. And she has already been on the street. I don't even begin to claim to understand the mindset of having a conversation. But I don't like what you're doing. That's a conversation you have with your adult child, not your actual child, minor. You make sure they don't go back on the street. You make sure.
You be like, stay, or you can't go this, you have to ask me. You be talking about, you be standing in front of the door like.
Okay, so you gonna get it together though, but we gotta figure out what.
Not school.
Online school.
Yeah.
I said you could get a pink iPad, go on online school, be on some fly stuff, and you say, yeah, that sounds cool. So you could.
I don't know about you. But that doesn't look like the face of someone who, especially a child who is actually making the deal they're making. I think that she's just saying what she wants, what she knows her mom wants to hear. Maybe that's me, but the fact that she's smiling uncomfortably, I don't know what to think of this, because I know what occurs later.
Do that. Alright, bet.
Moving on. Let's meet Mom.
Hey, yo.
So,
Oh, I want to.
Tania is an ASMR streamer, and she has ASMR videos, a lot of which surround her her nails and whispering into the microphone. She had quite a following for a good long while there. And she is, I would say, an orbiter of No Jumper. I don't know about Adam 22, but No Jumper for certain.
I give y'all ASMR so bad, but it wasn't quiet. I had somewhere to go, but I really want to talk to y'all right now. Because, you know, I am doing 2 things at once. Really, 3 things at once. But I could do that. Alright. So, yeah. How y'all doing?
Oh, I'm fine. But you're driving and both your hands are in front of you.
I'm just... And we're going to talk about something really quick. So I did an interview
and she's streaming.
White Underbelly interview.
Or making a video, I'm not sure.
Host a little mini vlog that I did yesterday. But I may or may not, because I was saying a lot. And I was showing mackerel. A lot. But yeah, you guys, right now, I just want to tell you guys, live your best life. This ain't no motivational talk, I promise. But live your best life, because I woke up, right?
I just want to point out that this is in the interior of a Mercedes-Benz. And the driving you're seeing is, you know, in Los Angeles. This is magical driving. I've never seen anybody do all of this all at once. Film a video. Apparently she's driving with her knees and she's rolling a blunt at the same time. That is ballsy. That's ballsy. I'm just gonna say.
Really like thinking about, which I always do. I think about my life. I think about how I want it to go. But really like no pressure though. And I really was like, dang, you really could like write your life. Literally, write your life, or...
You can literally write your life. What does that mean? You can make your life up? Or you know, manifest whatever you want. I understand that one, but you can write your life. You can write the story of your life. Is there a word missing there? I don't know what is actually going down there, but seems like self-help.
Speak your life into existence for real. Or you could really like imagine about your life, and that shit'll really, really, really come true.
How so?
Like
about
it'll
what?
really come true. Because I see niggas do it all the time in interviews. They just speak what they want. I see them.
So in interviews, you see people saying what they want, and you believe the idea is that because they're not telling the truth, that they're just speaking it into existence. Okay.
I don't know. They just be popping their shit, you know? So, like, I just feel like we gotta pop our shit, because it's like, if you don't pop your shit, you ain't gonna get shit. Like, pop your shit and really be true to yourself. Like, don't pop your shit to harm others. No, this is really like for you.
Okay, so
life.
what she means by that, by the way, if you don't understand the term pop your shit, she's not talking about dancing. She's not talking about popping the pee. She's talking about popping, like, exploiting oneself. Don't be afraid of acknowledging your accomplishments. That's what she's saying, I believe. But I think it's coming off, you know, in a colloquialism that is specific to definitely LA, for certain.
And whatever you want to do.
Or, you know,
for
maybe the No Jumper crowd. I don't know.
Let me tell you.
I'd say this is literally the first time I ever heard it referred to like that.
All the stuff I
had to think about it.
Where I came from. Like, I got to be the shit, because...
Both hands off the wheel.
How did I get here?
Filming towards the camera.
So I'm on my way making an errand. I have.
By the way, this is Mercedes-Benz. This is not a actual. This isn't like a Tesla driving itself or anything. This is
Ooh.
she's pulling Tesla moves in a Mercedes-Benz. So
I was
it's
just
manual
itching
driving.
to just make a video too. That's why, you know. But I had the nerve to.
Just want to remind you.
You know, I know how to drive with no hands.
I'm on the road with these people.
But yeah.
Yes, and I mean like
in any way,
someone who's going to not put their hands on the wheel. Those people.
it's good for your health to pop your shit, because when you popping your shit, you're not depressed, you're not down. You really like have a good attitude.
The chatter-atter.
So even though it's popping your shit, it's good for you. Because like I told you, nobody gonna pop it for you. People are weird. They don't like to congratulate people. People are also weird because they think that it's weird to congratulate yourself, and that's not right. So I'm just here today to tell somebody, celebrate.
So everybody celebrate
Your shit. Okay? Celebrate yourself. Because
and if you want to
that
know,
celebration is gonna turn you up to the highest key. I'm talking about, you know, on some high power shit. And that's what we need. That's what we need in this world. All high power shit, like no low vibrations.
no low vibrations. Okay, I understand.
On my update video, it's a cute little location. I told him I lost my booty. They've been stressing me out so much. He said no, you still have your booty. Let's see. Not really, but yeah. Okay, so I'm about to do my thing, y'all. It's been a long time coming. I haven't had my interview since last year, and it seems like I'm gonna be a regular here, letting people know the update of my life, because the internet just be running with it. Like no.
Yeah, the internet just be running with it. Now, if you're wondering, what is she gonna go interview for, and where are we? Well, we're in a. It's very interesting. I really hadn't looked closely at the bathroom. There's a shower in the bathroom. Okay, I mean, that's not unusual if you're at someone's house, but this is at an office space, at a studio. And you can't see the pictures on the wall there, but, well, let's let her explain exactly, because there's more to come. Let's bury the lead exactly where she is, because it definitely plays a big role.
The interview is here for the real deal. You want to hear from the horse's mouth? You can hear from the horse's mouth, baby. So yeah, stay tuned. This will probably be out in a few weeks. Yeah, that's how he did it last time I did it, and then it came out in like 2 weeks. So it will be out top of next year, or probably this month. Let me, don't give me the line. So you guys wish me luck, and what else? I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
So, okay. If you're wondering why I'd share all this, because it actually is context to the situation at hand and behavior of where she is.
I will be in this book, The Many Faces of Soft White Underbelly.
Sorry, I just realized in the chat.
Fresh from out this interview, baby. Because when I tell you, baby, I don't play when it come to me, baby. Mama gotta feed these kids, baby. Because, listen, you guys want to talk all of this stuff about me, but let me tell you, I'm a legend out here in these streets. And if y'all don't want to believe me, that's just on y'all. Just listen, You guys want to talk all of this stuff when it come to me, baby.
That is $2,000. Now, was that for the interview? That seems like a lot of money for an interview. Is it for, what is that for? Modeling? I'm not sure. And we can only, presume to know. She is saying she got paid for being on Soft White Underbelly, and she's claiming that that's what she got paid.
Mama gotta feed these kids, baby, because listen, you guys want to talk all of this stuff about me, but let me tell you, I'm a legend out here in these streets, and if y'all don't want to believe me, that's just on y'all. That's just on y'all, because I've been trying to tell y'all, and hate can only last for so long. But in life, like I said in my interview, life is filled with adversity, and guess what? You got to keep on going with that adversity, with the opposition, with the trials and tribulations, with the evilness, the cruelness, with your karma, with your kids, with your relationships, with life. And you have to keep on going, babe. So, I love you guys. It was a very great interview. I looked very good on camera. Ooh, I looked better than what I did before. And guess what? I'm going through it right now. I'm talking about going through it. But God, I love y'all.
So she's going through it. And you need to go through the trials and tribulations. This is very interesting. I find this incredibly interesting. Because at the same time that this interview has happened, this is after another interview has already gone down. And although I hesitated to watch this, and I let Lita watch this, Lita actually saw a prior edition of this video where there was no blurring. So what you are going to see is actually a re-uploaded and re-edited video by Soft White Underbelly. And I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm just going to play the beginning of it so you get an idea, because you don't really need to see much more than that. You don't need to see why or what or how deep it goes. You can see that on your own there if you choose to. I will be sharing Tania's video though, because I think that's actually more important to understand how wrong all this is, and how there is something inherently wrong with the morality of humans who believe that they don't have authority over their own children, or won't, because it's just too hard. And it's surreal to me that this story exists at all. So before I share this with you, I just want to warn you, viewer discretion is advised. The following imagery is of a young girl who is working as a prostitute. Nova is currently, as of the last couple days, in a jail cell in downtown Los Angeles. And I can only hope and wish that she's been bailed out, or that she's no longer in there, but I can't possibly know. Lizard Tree, the whole of the story I'll leave to her, Tania, to explain, because she does actually explain this. But first I have to share with you, by the way, the original version did not have the mother at the beginning, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I didn't watch it, but Lita could correct me if I'm wrong. and there was no blurring over the girl's chest. Once again, this is a trigger warning before we go into this. I don't share this lightly. I don't know why anybody would have filmed this. I don't know why somebody wouldn't have just taken this child to services. I don't understand any of the logic behind this. It is the lowest, in my opinion, format of entertainment to utilize others as some kind of macabre show. And that's why this video I'm making, this stream, is really about public engagement for information's sake, understanding what's happening, because we already know another portion of this story. And we know how that ended. And this is a younger person than Amanda Rabb. And it may very well be the youngest person that's ever appeared on his channel.
Yes.
In South Central. Her name was Tania. And she's been on social media a lot with all the drama in her life.
Yeah.
You're a part of that, right? Tell me what's going on in your life, because your story is pretty unique.
So basically what's going on in my life is my mom. When I moved with my mom, my whole life just like changed. And what I mean by change, I mean like my mom, she showed me different stuff. Like before I got with her, I lived in Beverly Hills. I was with different people.
Who are you staying in Beverly Hills with?
With my grandparents.
Grandparents, okay.
First.
So she says it right away. When I got with my mom, everything changed. She showed me different stuff. Where's the FBI? Yeah, where is the FBI? This is beyond. Now, the reason that her chest is now blurred is because everybody that saw this video complained that that top she was wearing was see-through. In this video, she is 14 years old. She's been on the street working since she was 13, which is where the story comes from about her being 13, by the way. And why has Mark Leda chosen her as a subject? How does this qualify as art? How I'm racking my brain, because even as an anthropological study, you would not frame it this way in any way, shape, or form, and the framing is what matters about this. He could have given her a shirt. He could have, but we've seen this before because he interviewed Amanda Rabb in the same fashion.
I stayed with my mom's mom, and then I moved with my great-grandparents, my mom's mom. So, when I moved with my mom, she started showing me different stuff. She moved me to the hood, the east side of LA, South Central.
And how old are you now?
13.
13.
Yeah.
She is 13. And my apologies. Her mother was saying she was 14.
When she started showing me all that stuff, and when she moved to the east side, my mindset changed. I changed how I look at things. Like, I didn't look at things the same. And once my mom started seeing that I was changing and that I didn't think the same no more, she started treating me different. Like, I feel like she didn't like it. But I mean, it wasn't really my fault. It was really her fault, because I asked to stay with my grandma, and she like forced me to move to LA. I used to get bullied and all type of stuff. But
to South Central LA?
So she was forced to move with her mother. She could have stayed with her grandparents. Now, where are the grandparents now? Are they aware of this at all? This is the other question to ask. Who knows about this other than the mom who's streaming and doing ASMR? Who knows about the situation, and why is it that nobody's called social services? Why has nobody done anything about this? There's other claims as well, but I need to let the people involved explain.
No, like in Beverly Hills and stuff, because it was always like white kids and stuff around us, around me and my brother. It was me and my brother, and
But you said you were forced to move.
yeah, I was forced to move.
To where?
Here. To LA. First I was in Marina Valley, and then I was in Beverly Hills, but I was forced to move like to the east side, to the ghetto.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't want to go because I knew how the girls was. They used to bully me. They used to pick on me. Any little things. I used to wear Skechers. I used to wear all the little bullshit stuff. So when my mom started seeing that I was changing and stuff, she didn't like it. I feel like she started being jealous of me because I started getting around girls that she didn't like. But whole time I didn't know that she didn't like.
Jealous. She was starting to get jealous of me. Why would she frame it as her mother was getting jealous of her? She knew she didn't want to go there because of the girls that had been bullying her. She didn't want to become like the girls that were bullying her. So this also seems like adolescent rebellion involved in this. Why didn't she just get sent back to Moreno Valley? I mean, that's as far removed as you get. Or perhaps, back to her grandparents in Beverly Hills.
Girls, not the girls didn't like her. They were just telling me stuff, and I was learning new stuff, and I used to come to my mom like, is this true? And she used to be like, yeah, that's true. So I'm like, okay, it's different. And when I went to Bret Hart middle school, I had got jumped by these girls from Hoover, and I told my mom, and she didn't believe me. And I'm like, you don't even care about me, and she's like, it's okay, if some girls put their hands on you, fight back. And I'm like, okay. So after that, I started fighting more. When I started fighting more, I started not caring about anything. And my mom didn't like that. She started kicking me out. I came back.
So her mom, what she describes is that her mom moved her in, put her in a place that she knew she was going to get bullied. And then when she started to respond and rebel and fight back, her mother kicked her out. Let me play this one more time because this is very important. I believe that she is 100% genuine about this, that her mother kicked her out.
When I started fighting more, I started not caring about anything, and my mom didn't like that. She started kicking me out. I came back. She was treating me weird. She kept bringing up stuff. She used to bring up how I got beat up, how I used to get abused by this dude, and that's when I used to run away. I'm not even gonna lie, I used to
bring up how she would get beat up and abused by a dude. She's 13 years old. What exactly is being spoken of there? Because once again, this is a child, so everything, the onus is, the liability, the everything, the responsibility is on mom. And any of the other authority figures in her life. What is going on? We don't live in a jungle. We live in a first world country, and there is literally no need, if you're driving a Mercedes-Benz, for your daughter to be in this situation. If you're flashing thousands of dollars on cam, there's no need for your daughter to be in this situation. If you're...
Anyway, but it wasn't for no reason though. She used to abuse me. She used to go on live, expose me, embarrass me. She used to post my messages. The same thing she doing now. This been happening since 3 years ago. So that's why now I'm just used to it.
Wait, what?
But
I mean,
Who?
what? She's a 13-year-old. So what does this actually mean? What has her mother been doing this whole time?
Are you staying with now?
now
Are you living with? Are you in the foster system or?
No, now I'm staying with a friend. Yeah, my friend.
But so you're supposed to be staying with your mom?
Yeah, but she kicked me out in December.
Last
year?
year?
But you told me out there that you're in the system?
Yeah, I'm in the system. Nobody has custody of me.
No one has
Yeah.
custody of you.
Yeah. It would have to be.
My mama lost
with
custody
Drake.
of me like 2 years ago.
Wait. So mom doesn't even have custody of her. Who has custody of her? Where is she actually supposed to be? Her mom took her out of the home that has custody for her? What the fuck?
When she was abusing me and stuff. Yeah.
And your grandparents are?
My grandparents, they're old. My great grandparents are 73 and 72. And I always ask to go over there. My grandma, she still texts me to this day, but she's like, I can't take care of you because she has high blood pressure. High blood pressure.
Oh, no. This is what I'm talking about. Who has custody? All of this sounds like something she's been told so that her mom can... Well, why would her mom take her if she doesn't have custody? Because she couldn't get like support from the state, or if that's what she was trying to get. She doesn't have custody.
And she thinks I'm going to stress her out, but I mean, I don't really need nobody to take care of me. I know how to get what I need, but I just need like shelter,
Yeah, but you've been working some of the streets as a prostitute? How long has that been going on?
Since May.
Since May?
Yeah.
How did you get introduced to that? At 13?
I used to be around these girls from Front Street, and they had this, the girl that they was with wasn't from their hood, but she used to be around them. They used to call each other like sister, faithful, and all that stuff. And the girls seen how them girls used to try to bully me, and they didn't like me for some reason. They had some type of animosity.
So somehow these are people that she's met on the street. Mind you, her mother knows these people and is quote-unquote jealous of them and jealous of her for being friends with them. Fluzzy B, good evening. How you doing? His voice did sound excited. It's very odd. The whole interview is very odd, which is why I'm not going to play the whole thing. You can watch it for yourself in its entirety over on his channel if you like. The fact that he's so comfortable with this interview is astonishing in itself, especially because there is no consent for this interview at this moment in time as of the video. As of him taking this video, there's no consent from mom or anyone. Because mom can't get consent anyways because she doesn't have authority over the child because she doesn't have custody. Who has custody? Who's watching Nova? No one. She slipped through the crack. Why? I can't fucking imagine why. It actually has a lot to do with the family. And a grandmother apparently got high blood pressure, so she can't take care of her. What is that about? This is one of those symptoms of selfishness. Apparently her family does have money, is not poor. This girl does not have a reason to have to be on the street. I can't imagine a more disturbed set of scenarios that would make less sense and throw a young person off kilter. She does not deserve in any which way the selfishness of the surrounding adults. Because that's what it comes down to. It's just a bunch of self-absorbed adults who apparently don't care about one of the children. Fuzzy bee! What's happening? Once again, the original version did not have her chest blurred. He had to take it down because of the complaints and re-upload it. He took the comments off for a good while there. I don't think they're comments are still turned off.
Towards me, and the girl that was with them, she seemed like, I don't like how they're treating you. You something better than that. We could be getting money out here. So a couple months later, she texted me at like 3 o'clock in the morning and was like, what you doing? I'm like, nothing.
And is she talking about adults? Or is she talking about another teenager? Who is she staying with right now that she made that smile? Is that an adult? Is that a teenager? All questions that I really don't have the answers to be frank with you. But I can assume that this is not a big circle of people. And that's part of my concern, actually. Part of the bigger concern of the picture.
Laying down, I'm like, what you doing? She like, I'm out trapping. And I'm like, trapping? She sent the picture and I'm like, you do that now? And she like, yeah, it's fast money. You should do it with me. So,
Trapping.
The next day, I texted her like, can you come get me? My mama acting weird. My mama was acting weird. She was threatening me to kick me out, break my phone, all this. I'm like, can you come get me? So she was like, yeah.
So the body language is that there's a lot of the story left out there, as we would well expect from a teenager or she's a child. She's barely a teenager. I would have to wonder who is choosing to offer to this vulnerable person the option of prostitution. Because right there, that's our first look at somebody we need to find out who the hell that is. And why doesn't mom care? And why doesn't mom turn them in? Why isn't mom doing something about this? Well,
I told my mom, I'm like, I'm about to go do a TikTok downstairs. And she was like, okay. And I'm like, can I do a TikTok in your car? She gave me the keys. I put the keys next to the door and I ran away. I went and I got in the car and she was with this nigga. He had tattoos all over his face. He was playing music. He looked like a gangbanger. He was a gangbanger. He was a pimp. And I didn't even know that he was a pimp. So we had went to the Crenshaw Mall.
So your mom, just for those that are not aware, your mom was working as a prostitute as well?
I don't know.
That's what she told me in that interview that she did with me.
She told you that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I seen a video of my mom on Fig, but I don't know if it's true.
She's seen a video of her mom on Fig, meaning Figueroa and Vine, on the Blade.
Not true, but it looked like she was on Fig. She said that she was walking from a club, but she doesn't go to clubs. And I heard in the past, like when I was like 5 and 6 and stuff, they used to tell me like, oh, your mom is getting money from dudes. And I'm like, maybe they're just friends, but so sometimes I think, yeah, she is a prostitute, but sometimes I think, no, she's not, because she has 3 babies to worry about at home. You feel me? Yeah.
What? So she doesn't. Did you hear the rationalization there? She has 3 babies to worry about at home, so she can't be a prostitute? The body language in itself is wild. And don't forget, the language earlier was, she's got children to feed. So is that mirroring? I would have to gather it probably is. We don't know, but sure sounds familiar.
When she lost custody of you, you've been on your own since then?
Yes.
Are you going to high school, or you're not even high school?
So wait,
age?
hold on a
What
second.
grade
You've been
are you?
on your own since it, not who has custody of you. Not who has custody of you. You've been on your own since then? What is wrong with him? What is really, I really have to wonder what the hell is wrong with dude? Like, that's his first question?
9th grade.
So you're a freshman in high school? Are you going to high school? You're not.
Nah. Cause I can't get checked into school unless my mom checked me in. Even though she's not even my guardian. So I don't even know how I can get checked into school. I don't know. I'll have to.
Who's your
see
guardian?
about
Come
that.
on, Mark.
I don't know.
Do you have anyone you can go to? You just stay at friends' houses or whatever you can figure
Yeah.
out?
Whoever let me in. I mean, whoever wants to be nice. Whoever is up at that time. You feel me?
Are you working with a pimp? You're not working with a pimp.
I can't do pimps.
That's hard to believe at 13 years old. You
Yes,
don't have
I
a pimp
know,
on.
but what I've experienced, I can't do a pimp. It's like you're outside selling, not to cuss, but you're outside selling your pussy just to give it to a nigga. That doesn't like sit right with me. Like, you're standing outside for nothing. Even though it's bad to stand outside, you're still standing outside for something. Cause at the end of the night, you're gonna have money in your hand. You feel me? And you're not giving it to nobody. You're spending it.
Yeah, this is at 13 years old. This is behavior that you can only be mimicking because you've seen it. Because you've been within it. I mean, she's gone so far as to be trained essentially to lie, it seems, allegedly, on behalf of her mom. Yeah, where are the police? Where are the law enforcement figures who, by the way, would well know if a 13-year-old was walking on the blade? They keep very close track of that whole area, not to mention everybody who's on the street and all the players. It is well known that the entirety of that area is under 100% surveillance at all times by CCTV. And someone her age would not have been missed getting into a car, much less the fact that it has also been the practice of LAPD, Rampart Division in downtown LA, to collect and chronicle all new faces. Anybody who's on the street, who's clearly committing a crime or homeless, in a group as a gang, they collect them, take pictures of them, and they chronicle them. So her somehow being missed in the fray is highly unlikely if in fact her mom has been so public about this. Which is why this is more than disturbing.
Are thinking like, how is the video out? Hey y'all, real quick, I want to address something. My name is Tania, and I did a soft white underbelly video. It went viral, and it kind of went viral because a lot of people didn't know that that was my get down. Like, that's what I did, and you know, like that I went through those things in my life. So meanwhile, in that time, my daughter was 13 years old, and she was running away at the time, and she is a chronic
CPS is
runaway.
what it's called,
So
Mr. Tree.
while being ran away, she started to see my videos circulate, and she decided that she wanted to get a video done herself. So she then got into the arms of Mark, and that is crazy because my intuition was already saying, like, my daughter.
All right. So this is the common hyperbole and the modern hyperbole of those people who just want to steamroll over the logic and sensibility of the situation. You could even see it in her eyes that she thinks she's pulling one over on the camera because the camera can't fucking respond. But let me play this back for you so you can hear exactly what she says here.
13 years old, and she was running away at the time, and she is a chronic. Hey y'all, real quick, I want to address something. My name is Tania, and I did a soft white underbelly video. It went viral, and it kind of went viral because a lot of people didn't know that was my get down. Like, that's what I did. And
okay, so now she's talking about an interview that I'll share some of it with you. It's called Sugar Baby Interview, Tania. It's from over a year ago. I'm sorry, almost a year ago, 11 months ago, my bad. So it seems like quite a while ago. In fact, that would be, that would be sometime around the time she kicked out her daughter. So it seems interesting that she mentions that her daughter wanted a video as well, despite the fact that she'd kicked her daughter out just before this video.
That I went through those things in my life. So meanwhile, in that time, my daughter was 13 years old, and she was running away at the time, and she is a chronic runaway. So by
the way, she apparently doesn't even know her daughter's age, because at the moment of this video, her daughter is 13 years old. I've come to realize. At the moment of this video, her daughter is saying she's 13 years old. She is saying she was 13 years old when she ran away, but her daughter says she ran away after being threatened to be kicked out and being kicked out other times last December. Make it make sense for me, please, someone.
Ran away.
Who's
she started to see my videos circulate, and she decided that she wanted to get a video done herself. So she then got into the arms of Mark.
Okay, so there's a huge leap in logic. So she saw that her mom got one done, so she decided that she wanted to get one done for herself too. What? I'm sorry? She's a 13-year-old girl. What? Now, when Mark interviews her, she's never seen her mother's video. As far as the interview is concerned, I think she's being pretty earnest about that. So this suggests to me that this is not true. Because don't forget, in the Mark Leda video, she actually says, somewhere in here,
my mama lost custody of me like 2 years ago, because when she was abusing me and stuff. Yeah.
And your grandparents, or?
My grandparents, they're old. My great grandparents are 73 and 72. And I always ask to go over there. My grandma, she still texts me to this day, but she's like, I can't take care of you because she has high blood pressure, and she thinks I'm going to stress her out. But I mean, I don't really need nobody to take care of me. I know how to get what I need, but I just need like shelter, you know?
Yeah, but you've been working some of the streets as a prostitute? How long has that been going on?
Since May.
Since May?
Yeah.
So she's been working since May, but she was kicked out in December of the year prior, or she ran away. It's kind of hard to tell. But she mentions that she was gone in December. And I'm sorry, I didn't get far enough back to it because it's just before that moment. So I just missed it. But she says she left in December. Maybe it's just actually right here.
Introduced to that. At 13.
Oh, no. Talking to kinfolk, how are you doing this evening? Thank you for joining us. And what's going on? If you don't know, I am currently covering the story. Destiny is being canceled again. How many times? Finally. Jeez. Not surprising. I've been waiting for it. Yeah, there is somebody needs. Oh yeah, he's made a ton of. In fact, hold on a second. Is this it? Oh no, this is actually even better. This is funny.
What, people calling me gay because I've never had a girlfriend? I think if anything, it makes me less gay.
No.
If anything, it makes me not gay.
No, Nick.
As opposed to less gay. Not that there's any gay, but
Nick.
It makes me not gay.
No.
Well, because think about it this way. You know, a gay person, gay people do
Nice
date girls
talking
all
to
the
Kinfolk.
time.
I support that action.
Really?
Really?
And when I
gay
said
folk
on
date
Elijah,
gay folk date women all the time is what he says, and not having sex with women makes him less gay. That's Nick Fuentes, 2022, folks. Let's go. Based Groiper. Yeah, nah, yeah, nah, yeah, nah. Oh yeah, you went to a Wick TV live? No, you got to take part in the Wick TV live. Or be throwing peanuts at the screen. It's just they are for the most part very similar, the same topic, and once in a while you get a lav on panel who just flip it up and make it insane. But yeah, yes, they are all pretty much the same. Actually, Prime K's, if you want to go to the root, the predecessor to them all, the granddaddy Mac Daddy, he's actually still doing his thing. Prime K's is out there. He's been taking some heat for some really weird parasocial stuff too, by the way. And so yeah, what I'm covering tonight is who is watching Nova. Now, previously, talking, I don't know if you know that I've covered a story about a girl named Amanda Rabb. Amanda Rabb is a runaway, and she ended up in a system involved with a person named Lima Jovrovich, and via that system she was first incarcerated and then brought to a care clinic, and under the auspices of that care and rehabilitation, given some kind of VR treatment and supplements, and was found dead in her bed, laying prone, when checked on in the morning, at some point after being there for almost a year. And in that situation, the person in charge of the program proceeded to not tell the truth on soft white underbelly about the actual cause of death immediately thereafterwards. And it amongst many other practices of the surroundings of soft white underbelly are questionable. No, the young lady on the screen has a chance. She is incarcerated right now, last I checked. Well, there is actually, Lita, now that I've watched the videos multiple times, there is some question to this, because this is from only like 6 weeks ago. She says she's 13. Her mom says she's not 13, that she was 13 last year. So I don't think her mom actually knows her age. And yeah, no, the young lady on the screen still quite very much has a chance to survive any of this and to get out of this, with those of us keeping eyes on and putting eyes on this in the first place, because I don't believe, in my opinion, that if you watch this and the fact that what Lita saw, if I'm not mistaken, Lita, there was no blurring of the chest on the version that you saw. Lita took the first hit. So what she's saying is that she has been on the street since last December, a year ago, and actually on the blade working since May. So over 6 months. Or almost 6 months. Sorry. Anyways, Tania goes on to explain.
Are thinking like, how is the video out? FYI, disclaimer, I was not there. I was not present when my daughter did the video. So since we know that, we could go to the next thing. So remember, my intuition was itching, like, let me...
Okay, so she just rolls right on past the liability there of the fact that she was not there for her daughter's video, and she also doesn't have custody of her daughter, so she couldn't give actual release for her 13 or 14-year-old. We are unsure of her actual age. Well, according to mom, 14, according to daughter, 13. So she's admitting that she did not give consent to the video. which matters more than anything because the video was had without consent of a parent or guardian. In this case, she's not the guardian. She's not her parent technically because she does not have custody. Who is the guardian? That becomes the question. Who is the actual guardian?
Just let Mark know not to interview her because I had called him one time.
She had an intuition, an itch, that she should probably let Mark know that she shouldn't interview her 14-year-old daughter. I'm sorry. Fuck you say? The fuck you say? Like this is some girl that you should probably warn him about? The planet, what planet is she on? What planet is she? If she's a ward of the state, then she can't give consent for her daughter talking to him at all. Absolutely. Much less the fact that if she doesn't have custody, she can't give consent at all. She turned 14 this week, but she's 13 here in this video, several weeks ago. Thank you, Lita. Lita with the clarification as you do. Parkour. True.
The blue, and I was like, yeah, Mark, I'm looking for extra money. I wasn't per se asking him for money, but I know not to interview her because I had called him one time just out the blue, and I was like, yeah, Mark, I'm looking for extra money. I wasn't per se asking him for money, but I was just like asking, like, do you know any opportunities, like you do.
She wasn't asking him for money per se, but she was wondering if the guy that she had, told she was a sugar baby on film and done an interview with before, if there were any other opportunities. Do people clearly believe their own bullshit? This is wild.
Film, like I do too, like what's up?
I think that's because nobody calls them on it. And when they do, they either have such a facade or they run away. She doesn't want anyone experimenting on her daughter. Yes, and that is coming up, and that is where it is very concerning to me and where I extrapolate out to the suggestion that there might be a similarity to what happened with Amanda Rabb, where Amanda Rabb was incarcerated and then turned over to the care of Lima Jovrovich. And we saw how that worked out. We've seen how it worked out with her sisters, and we've seen how it worked out with Bam Margera. All of these participants, Amanda Rabb, Dia and Dahlia, and Bam, they've all had very negative outcomes to being involved in around and responses too. This is observable and reported repeatedly. So this is not some, allegation beyond those that I'm reporting on. Those are not my words. Those are the words of the people and the outcomes. Because Amanda Rabb died in the care and custody, oversight of Lima Jovrovich. So it is concerning to me that a similar situation. What's happening, Stay Gold? How you feeling? Long time no see. Good to see you. This is an unfortunate situation, and Stay Gold, this is our stomping grounds, man.
I was just networking, and he was like, oh, I hear that your daughter is on the street. If you want extra money, go find her so I can interview her. So I was like, you want me to recruit my own daughter? Like, guy, creep. This is already bad enough that she's ran away. So if I find her, I'm not going to bring her to you. So I was like, and you better not interview her. So that's why it's so crazy how you interview her.
Okay, so she's basically saying she told him not to interview.
I do too, like, what's up?
Her 14-year-old daughter.
I was just networking, and he was like, oh, I hear that your daughter is on the street. If you want extra money, go find her so I can interview her. So I was like, you want me to recruit?
So first and foremost, that's her describing Mark Leda saying that he is willing to pay her to pull her daughter off the street where he believes her teenage daughter is living so that he can interview her. Last I heard, that's trafficking. And I could be wrong. I would allege that that's the case. I could be completely wrong. That's just my opinion on the subject. I'm no lawyer by any means, but it seems to me that would be a form. Am I wrong? Am I wrong for that? Escalated to the proper authorities ASAP, especially while her daughter is still incarcerated. Yes. And before another service gets a hold of her. The parents or grandparents need to come into play. And where's dad? And who is dad? Does it matter? I don't know. I mean, like, a better option is what matters. And for her to not end up in some rehabilitation program that she doesn't need. Because we saw what happened to the other people. She's not suffering from psychosis. She's just a 13-year-old, 14-year-old girl rebelling against a world she was forced into. And by the way, don't forget, her mother removed her from the safety of her apparently well-to-do grandparents' house in Beverly Hills and brought her to East LA, despite the fact that she didn't have custody of her. So there's that whole question of how does that even happen? How does that even allow? She doesn't have custody of her. She lost custody of her because of abuse, and then she ends up back in her house and then being kicked out repeatedly. Seems to be a form of trafficking, and Mark seems like he's exploiting a minor, and this is where, honestly, to me, the accusation here comes from her describing it. So whether it's true or not kind of doesn't matter after the fact, because he actually did that. The evidence would be is that she says Mark asked her about interviewing her daughter, who's a minor. She doesn't have custody of it. She says no. He still does it. And there is more detail, which makes this just disturbing.
Like, guy, creep. This is already bad enough that she's ran away. So if I find her, I'm not going to bring her to you. So I was like, and you better not interview her. So that's why it's so crazy how he interviewed her, because he told me on that phone call, like, oh no, I wouldn't put out anything without your consent. He goes, oh no, I wouldn't put out anything without your consent. That was the key word, consent, because he knew he was going to try to get a hold of my daughter, but
Wait, hold on a second. That was the key word, consent. He knew he was going to try to get a hold of my daughter. Well, first off, you can't give consent, and she knows that, right? She knows she doesn't have custody of her daughter. Do you think she knows? She has to know she can't give consent. And that the daughter can't give consent to herself. The fact that Mark Leda wants the interview at all is problematic. But the fact that does he know that her mother doesn't have consent, custody? We don't know. We don't know until the interview.
That would be easy, for him to find her, because it's prostitutes and people that he work with that recruit other girls. So
let's hear that one more time. Just for the record.
That would be easy, for him to find her, because it's prostitutes and people that he work with that recruit other girls. So they could just go find her, like, oh, you want to have her interview?
So he works with prostitutes and other people who collect the girls. Okay, so I understand that we, in the process of interviews, we do have people that will go out and gather, but using prostitutes to gather other prostitutes seems fairly unethical on every level. And who are the other people? And what are they? I mean, is it homeless people? So you gain a matter of trust instead of just going out with your camera? So that's what I think we all imagine, is that Mark Leda is just going out there with his camera.
I just couldn't believe it. He ended up getting in touch with my daughter. I was on live one day, And so while on live on Instagram, somebody said in the comments like, oh, wait till your daughter dropped that soft white underbelly interview though. So I'm thinking like, oh, one of her little friends is chiming in and they're popping it that she did the interview. And I knew it. I knew that's why I told him don't interview her, because...
Okay, so one of her little friends is chiming in and they're popping it that she did the interview. I knew it. So, like, that doesn't sound like somebody who cares. It sounds like mean girl behavior. It sounds like some kind of weird competitive spirit. And I have to wonder, how old is mom? She doesn't look 30. Maybe she just looks young. But how old is mom? That would make a difference.
Why would you suggest me to find her just to give me some money? You should be just on GP. Oh, this is a girl. You know, you care about it so much, right? Like, you have all these GoFundMes and all these things going on, whatever the case may be. But, like, you know, my daughter is really, really young, and this is out of the norm. And here you go, interviewing her. But it gets worse. Crazy, right? So it gets worse because when I seen that comment on my live, I started saying, oh, if he put out a video of her, he's going to get sued. Next thing you know, he's texting me the next morning, hey, Tania, I want to do a follow-up video. So that's how I ended up doing my...
Wow. So you understand the audacity at this point. So if he did the video, he's going to get sued. She doesn't have custody. She can't technically sue him for anything. Her daughter is not in her custody. Now, the state, that's a different story. I don't think they'd be suing. Grandparents, whoever has custody, that's who gets the lawsuit. She's not concerned about her daughter. She's concerned about a bag, it looks like. And so I'm not alone. I hear something competitive in their voice, too. Okay, so yeah, it's weird, but there's like this weird tingle in my back of that there's like some competitive spirit about it. Like, oh, she wanted hers. And wait till you hear what she says next.
Follow-up video. But then he flips the script and he's then going to say, but we're going to put out the follow-up video, but then we're going to also put out your daughter's video too. I said, yeah, I heard that you interviewed her. Oh, yeah, but I'm not going to put it out. And I paid her a lot of money. I'm like, I bet you.
Yeah, I heard you interviewed her. That's what you said to him? You didn't say, what the fuck are you doing, crazy person? You didn't say, she's a minor. You didn't say, that's what you said to him? It's just a casual conversation about your minor daughter being interviewed without anybody's consent? So this has already happened, and they're all aware of this. No consent has been had. They're all having the conversation. Everybody's culpable.
So I said, let me just think about that. So 2 weeks went by, and I really be waiting. I be making people wait. Like, I don't make decisions.
So she goes for 2 weeks, and he's got this video already. She hasn't called the police. She hasn't reached out to the people who actually have custody. She hasn't done shit. She's thinking about how much money she can make off giving him consent. And she's proud of it. She thinks it's a flex. Think about that. She thinks it's a flex that she made him wait. Knowing that she's just going to try to give consent, which, by the way, legally she can't give. Media, yeah, he does seem to be exploiting people for profit, because why isn't he just sharing all the income across the board? Why isn't just all of it going to, the people on the street that he's interviewing? Why don't the returns on his books, which, by the way, go for a lot of money? Those books are very expensive. Go check it out online. They are very expensive.
Real fast no more, because I used to do that, and
if you can find a
copy. I'm
copy.
like, okay, let me wait. He ended up hitting me up again. Are you still interested? Are you still interested? I didn't say nothing. He hit me up again. Are you interested? I said, you know what? Yeah. Because it was so much going on with my daughter. She was on live, popping Percocets. She was just like, really just going ham like how she does. Like, she slowed down.
Just going ham like how she does. Your daughter is 13 years old. Now 14. What the fuck are you talking about? you're aware of this and you're not doing anything about it, acting like it's just something out of your control. She is a child, ma'am. You actually hold all liability and responsibility. It doesn't matter what you say to yourself or what you say to other people. I can't imagine who is acknowledging any of this rationale as real. And by the way, there's a baby seat. There's a fucking baby seat. Yeah, the teens won't do that shit if you're involved. Wow, Lizard Tree, that's deep. She's not, Lizard Tree says she's not a mom. She is an egg donor. Woo. Damn.
A little bit, and she started posting online crazy stuff again. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna sign off that interview.
Wait, she has 5 kids, and the last 2 she had in 21 and 23? Is that? I'm sorry. Always something 22. Jesus Christ. 2021 and 2022. So she has 5. Suing. How about arresting? Thank you. I missed that comment, Lizard Tree. Yeah, teens won't do that shit if you're involved. Children won't do that shit if you get involved. If you can wrestle that out of your hand, that's your child. You can get it right out of their hand. They are tiny little things. Swear to God, you take them way out of that environment where they can't get the drugs. Where they don't have it. I mean, like, she was out in Moreno Valley. That's like, nobody is out there. It's just churches, desert. Should have left her out there.
So that people could see that she got interviewed at 13 years old by this man, period, point blank. And I need her to see, sign off.
This is, by the way, her mom logic. She believes it's a flex and a way to, well, punish Nova. Tania believes it's a way to punish Nova by letting the video happen. To show her, now this guy has information on her. She thinks Nova, she's playing like Nova is a competing girl on the blade with her. AKA, in English, she believes that Nova is a competing prostitute with her. That's how she's behaving. That is literally what she's about to say here.
Down a little bit, and she started posting online crazy stuff again. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna sign off that interview so that people could see that she got interviewed at 13 years old by this man, period, point blank. And I need her to see, look what you did, and no shame in your game because
look what you did, ma'am. You are the responsible party. If you, I mean, like, you may not even have custody, but as an adult, ethically and morally, as the mom, you are the responsible fucking party. You got 4 other kids too. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with the person that does this? How do they rationalize the behavior?
did it, but this is why you have to be careful because now he has a digital imprint of you.
Oh, see, my, at the time, 13-year-old child who is prostituting herself and apparently on drugs. This is what happens when your mom gives authorization unrightfully to a dude who's filming you. Now he's got evidence of you. Why is the victim in jail instead of the child traffickers? You tell me. You tell me.
Talking about being 13 on the blade, and I hate it, right? This is where it...
And I hate it. You have a choice. There is a very clear choice there. And she even said it. You took her out of the safe space. You removed her from the safe space and took her to East LA. And that makes me wonder, was there some intent to profit? Even though you didn't have custody. I mean, like, how do you end up with a child you don't have custody with? Like taking her out of the home where whoever had custody, wherever she was staying was a safe place, she said. How does that fucking happen?
It gets worse. My daughter right now is incarcerated, so let me just speed it up. She's incarcerated. She's see. Look what you did. And no shame in your game because you did it, but this is why you have to be careful because now you have...
No shame in your game because you did it. Talking like she's an adult. She's a child. No shame in your game. This is the actual attitude. She thinks of her child as an adult. She doesn't think of her child as a child. Hence why she's kicked her out of the house at 12 and 13.
Digital imprint of you.
Allegedly.
Talking about being 13 on the blade, and I hate it, right? This is where it gets worse. My daughter right now is incarcerated, so let me just speed it up. She's incarcerated, she's in jail, and basically, she called me, and I'm like, oh, babe, the soft white underbelly video is out. She like, Mom, what? I'm like, yeah. She like, so you gave consent to him? I said, yeah, you.
So what this actually sounds like, even though I don't think it's the case, is that she's incarcerated, and while she's incarcerated, her mother is given consent to release the video, which in fact she doesn't have the authorization legally to do so since she doesn't have custody. Technically, if her daughter is in the custody of the state at this time, her daughter is a ward of the state. And if she doesn't have custody and there is no custodial parent, she gave consent without the legal capability of doing so. There's a lot of problems compounding with this when I think about it. I mean, this is all what I'd have to assume. I mean, just because, like, if you're not the parent at the time, you don't have the custody, then you can't give the consent to somebody to film your teenager in a bra that you can see through while she talks about prostitution. That you also do, ma'am. So I can't imagine where she would get the idea or practice or meet these people. And I hesitate to talk about the further extent of the story because of where I live here in Los Angeles, my own associations, and the danger, the actual danger when I talk about an extended set of characters in this group that I was shocked to find, and then not, at the root of description. The first time Nova gets into the car with her friend as she drives off from her mother's house. Now, there's lots of people in LA who have tattoos all over their face. There's lots of pimps that have tattoos all over their face. But I'd say that there's some extenuating circumstances to the characters surrounding her mother that suggest that her mother is well aware of the circumstances and way that her mother has gotten, in my opinion. And I would say this is alleged and totally just, hypothesis. I don't know this to be true at all. But I can only gather that if you're surrounded by these people, someone might prey on you if in fact they see that you are the prey.
The video, she like, so you gave him consent? I'm like, yeah. She like, did you see it? I said, yep. Mind you, I didn't even see it yet.
Okay, so that's even worse. She gave consent without seeing the video. She gave consent to a video she couldn't give consent to without seeing the video. Amazing. By the way, Mark Leda still has this video up because I was playing that from his channel.
Because when I signed it off and I did my follow-up video, I didn't even look at hers because I didn't want to get heartbroken. I've been going through this for a little minute now and I couldn't do it. So when I seen it online, I'm like, no, he didn't let her get interviewed in that bra.
Wait. So she did... Okay, first off, this is after the videos we've seen earlier. The videos that I shared at the beginning all occur within 2 days of one another, meaning that she went and got interviewed very shortly after her daughter was interviewed. She had her daughter in the car very shortly after that. Means she had access to her. She knew her whereabouts. She was trying to convince her to get a pink iPad, or to bring her a pink iPad so she'd go back to high school. And then we also see her talking about how you need to pop your shit, as she seemed to be heading towards the soft white underbelly interview. Then we see her at the soft white underbelly interview, not worried or concerned about her daughter's video, not heartbroken that she would see it, but rather showing how she's the baller with all the money at the end, how she's a legend in the streets.
Like that, I was just so disturbed. I couldn't even look because I don't see her like that. You know, when she's on Fig, I don't see her. I see what she posts online, and I barely see it because I don't want to look, and I'll just make another missing report. But it was heartbreaking, and so my daughter then goes, listen to this part, you guys. My daughter then goes, Mom, I was lying in that interview. I lied so much about you.
Did you notice what just got thrown on the screen? A picture of her daughter crying. What mom in her right mind puts up a picture of her daughter crying in order to express that her daughter was regretful? Why isn't she sharing a video of it? Is it even true? No, we don't know. We don't know.
It was heartbreaking, and so my daughter then goes, listen to this part, you guys. My daughter then goes, Mom, I was lying in that.
This is her 14-year-old daughter. This is her proof that she said she was lying. Yeah. Her daughter didn't say she was lying about her. Think she's the one that maybe was urging her daughter to be a prostitute? I mean, we hear the language, we see the surroundings, we see what her daughter says about the friends, we see her response to this. We see the fact that she took her back, in the words of her daughter, allegedly from a safe place to bring her to East LA, and then started tossing her out on the street. Yeah, maybe it was the fact that Flezzy B, that her daughter thought that maybe it was best off to control her income flow, because that's where, you remember she was saying her mom was getting weird, wanted to destroy her phone. She doesn't want a pimp. And her mom seems sore over it. Yeah, her daughter didn't say she was lying about her. Truth, Lita.
Interview. I lied so much about you, Mom.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh.
From her,
she said,
by the way,
lied so much.
So she's talking about, I lied so much about you, Mom. Not, that's, by the way. Let's talk about the narcissism of this moment, in my opinion. I would allege that there seems to be a lot of narcissism going on in this description, because she's not talking about, oh, I lied about being a prostitute. Oh, I lied about the situation. Oh, I didn't. No, I lied about you, Mom. You're a saint, Mom. I'm in jail because I'm a teenage prostitute, because I'm the problem, not you, Mom. This is all deflection. How she would repeat this and not have any self-acknowledgement or awareness is the tell of what's actually going on here.
About you, Mom. And I said, girl, why was you lying? Because I know that she lies. But I'm like, why was you lying? Because I didn't want to show no emotion of being mad, because then she was going to shut down. You know how kids are. They don't express themselves when you're mad.
she's now imparted that she thinks that her daughter should be more concerned about her being mad that she lied about her than about being in jail for prostitution. This is how you know this is disconnected from reality. It has nothing to do with, I mean, it's like adolescent at best, and it is competitive in the spirit. Like, they are sisters, or they're siblings, colleagues. She's not talking about her like she's her daughter. There's no empathy. There's no, like, concern or care. It's about what her daughter, it's about her clearing her own name, trying to remove herself from any responsibility, like acting as though her daughter can remove her from responsibility, which is even wilder.
Now, so I'm just keeping it cool. So I'm like, girl, I'm like, yeah, that's why the internet is going crazy, you know, on me, because of the things that you do, girl. You just be lying. I know. She like, in my...
The internet is going, talk about a deflection, and there it is, the cognitive dissonance. The internet is going crazy on me, talking about her, because all the things that you do, teenager, not because I'm responsible for you, but rather all the things that you do. I'm not responsible for that, despite the fact being the best. This is what I'm talking about. She doesn't even acknowledge that she isn't a responsible party at all. She's playing both sides of the fence on that. She knows she doesn't have custody, so she's not supposed to be responsible, but then she is, because she is the adult there, and she wrote consent she didn't have.
And guess what? Listen to this. And he gave me 300, but he gave me 200 more because he told me if I want more, wear something more revealing. So that's why she wore that top.
Okay, and then so now not only is it not mom's fault that she did that or is involved with that or on the street, now it's Mark Leda is a creep, which yes he is for this. But the framing of this, actually, the more I've heard this, it makes me wonder if that's truth. Did Mark Leda say that, or did she make that offer when she talked to him on the phone when he asked her to give consent? We don't know. We'll never know. Did Mark Leda actually ask? If so, that's horrifying on its own. But something tells me that the negotiation over how much tends to come from the hookup, right? Maybe it's me. I don't know.
Request.
We don't know.
He gave her more. So at the end of the day, they're saying I need to be in jail. What? I wasn't there.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
If I wouldn't have
Yeah. So yes, I would agree with that. The law enforcement agencies should be aware of you because you weren't there. Thank you for saying so. You don't have custody, and you were aware of this, which makes you an accomplice after the fact. And also, you are her mom in the end. So even without custody, you're a responsible adult where she was living. It's wild. The deflection on her part is absolutely wild.
Consent. Nobody wouldn't have known that he recorded my daughter.
She got $2,000,
Mom. In the
Mom.
archives.
Yeah.
So people saying,
yeah, she got $2,000.
But you know, you could sue him. You could still sue. What was you doing?
You can still sue. Not if you don't have custody and you're not allowed to even. Yeah, I mean, like, no, that's wild. But okay, great thinking. Like she was planning on doing all sides of the fence, and she got $2,000. The child got $300. Think about that. Yeah. Something odd.
Interviewing a young girl without her parent,
or $500
with her nipples showing, then took it off YouTube, put it back up, blurred it out. Just so sloppy. You get what I'm saying? And I've been
so sloppy, like haha, you got outed. So sloppy, Mark. What are you doing? Do better. Lack of self-awareness. Absolute lack of self-awareness. She has no sense that the entirety of the responsibility is on her. It doesn't matter what else she says. Doesn't matter what she said. It's all just deflection to try to avoid the responsibility that she has in the situation.
Doing a lot of research, which I should have done. Child, Ain't nobody about to do no experiment on me or my daughter. And
Ain't nobody about to do an experiment on me. Oh, it's getting skippy? Oh no! That sucks. I hope it's not my side. I know that weird things have been happening. Like, weird things were happening at Tom's show last night for me. Had it on in the background. Anyways. What she mentions here is one of these weird little tells that's very quick. And we can only assume or presume what she means.
And I've been doing a lot of research, which I should have done. Child, ain't nobody about to do no experiment on me or my daughter. In Jesus' name, period. I speak into the universe.
What kind of experiment is she talking about? What does she exactly mean? Hey, Fuzzy B, welcome back. Fuzzy B Wang. Fuzzy B Song Wang. You're back. I'm gonna assume that she means some kind of VR rehabilitation. Exposure therapy, maybe? Or maybe she's just extrapolating or adding to the story. Maybe it hasn't been offered that, but
I'm very powerful, okay? I am, and my daughter is not about to be in you guys' cults. It's not gonna happen like that. Now, I thought
that portion is very curious. She and her daughter are not gonna be in these people's cults or part of an experiment. And, So, that's curious. The only one I know about involved with all of that is, Lima Jovrovich and, that whole scenario. Or a VR.
that maybe, you can recommend some help because people be having resources. You interview all these people, you have all these subscribers. I mean, duh. I'm the one that's more like skeptical on, is it gonna work or is it gonna make my baby worse?
Is it gonna work? What is she talking about? Or is it gonna make my baby worse? This is from 3 days ago, by the way. What is she talking about? Is it gonna, what is gonna work? Whoa.
Because it's my baby at the end of the day. It's my child. I'm the mama.
Is it?
And I said what I said.
Oh, okay, because earlier you weren't taking any responsibility for your child. Yeah, but it doesn't matter that you said what you said. You signed a consent form. This is the crazy behavior logic that I'm talking about, where it's convenient to whatever seems powerful at the moment just to put on show. This is to me, a wildly out of control person, in my opinion. We can only speculate at this point what her actual intention is. What it's been the whole time, because I don't believe we're hearing the truth. I just don't believe it. That's me.
Period. So, y'all get on my nerves. If you guys have any legal advice.
The audience, they all get on her nerves. So if anybody has any legal advice for her, you
guys have any pointers or whatever, because I know y'all like to chew me out, but there is people out there that, wants to help and really understands what I'm going through. Really understands what I'm going through. Is somebody out there?
Well, was she going to do the edit later? Or did she forget to do the edit or something like that?
That really understands what I'm going through, man. And somebody who, is not really judging me.
Oh, okay.
I'm a young mom. I love my child. Whatever I'm doing, I do not recommend for her.
You love your child, but you kicked her out last December, and then you gave consent to release a video that you didn't have consent or custody over her to consent to, and that video included her with see-through top on, talking about how she's been a prostitute since May. Yeah, it sounded like they were supposed to have an edit there, right?
She's not supposed to be doing that. Does she lie? Yes, she do. Do I chew her out? No, I don't. You know, I just had a video call with her. We just had court today. She's supposed to get released tomorrow. All of these things. It's so many things, you guys. It's so many.
She doesn't seem very concerned for her daughter getting released or the issues with her, and she's not concerned that she's incarcerated right now. And took her out of the safe home, yeah.
Things. And I'm like, when she gets released, I'm still gonna do my channel. I'm still gonna focus on all of my kids. I'm still gonna be the mother that I am. I'm still gonna be the boss that I am. I'm still gonna be beautiful.
I'm gonna leave it right there for a while. That seems appropriate. So her concern is that she's beautiful, that she's gonna care for the kids that she's caring for, and she's gonna be the boss. What does this all mean? This is some delusional ass shit, if you ask me. In my opinion, this is fairly delusional behavior of somebody who is like missing the whole importance of the situation and acting like they don't have to care, because that's the whole actual like bad behavior game now. If you just act like nothing matters, you're the coolest person in the room, right? This is what it turns into. Your daughter prostituting in downtown LA, getting picked up by Mark Leda and being interviewed. But hey, let's take a peep at where this comes from.
You know, I'm getting more, and it's like so easy too, very easy. But you got to know what you're doing now, and it got to be a purpose, you know.
And these relationships are sexual sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes.
Are they always? Not always though?
Not always. I get lucky a lot to deal with people who they're so busy and they just want either somebody to talk to or, you know, I started a career in body rubs. So like I was making so much money with that. Like I'm talking about a day, 3,000, just easy body rubs all day long.
So we're not talking about someone who can't afford to care for her child. That's the wilder portion of this. None of these people are living in abject poverty.
It's a sexual relationship.
It is. It's kind of like a girlfriend experience type of thing. You know, they want a body rub once a week and you're seeing them a lot. And like, they're giving you everything, you know, on top of gifts when you come, body rubs. Oh, let's go out to dinner. It's more than just, you know.
Wait, so they're giving you body rubs when you're giving... Boy, that's a fancy way of saying call girl.
Is they married or single or both?
Both. And then I like when they're married too, because I'm like, we can't do nothing because you're married, you know? And it's not like I wouldn't want to do nothing. Like it's been a few guys where I'm like, dang, like maybe I should just stop doing this and I should be with them. But then I have to think like, nah. You're a sugar baby. Stay in your lane.
You been in love before?
A few times.
Yikes.
Has there ever been a client?
That's correct, Fuzzy B.
One of them, I was falling for him, but I couldn't have him. He was taken. And he was very successful. And I loved his whole house. Like imagine like me, I'm from the hood, right? So while people think, oh, you're touching all this money, you're supposed to be living far. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you still be stuck in the hood or just going through life. And
she doesn't want to leave her comfort zone, and she's full of shit. Yeah, she sounds like she's just full of delusions. Telling stories and telling them so often that she believes them herself. That's the way I feel
like I
about
said, fast money. So like you're using it for your needs, and then you got a spending habit and kids and all this. Is not how you really want it to be. But I wanted to stay with him, and he was in a relationship, but they didn't live together. So like I would be there for like a week sometimes, and I could come like in and out. And I love the whining and dining, but it just wasn't my life with him. So I had to like wake up.
Do you have a spending addiction?
Oh yeah.
One more time, for those of you that came in a little bit later.
So I'm here at Soft White Underbelly. I'm doing my update video. It's a cute little location. I told him I lost my booty. They've been stressing me out so much. He said no. You still have your booty. Let's see. Not really, but...
Notice something here.
You know what I'm gonna have to do? Which I've been doing anyway. I'm gonna have to wrap this with...
This is on the way to the interview.
Brown papers. Because grabbers do not like to stick, but guess what? They would want to go slow like this. That's crazy. Like, I'm vlogging and driving and rolling up and doing a whole bunch of shit. And you want to drive like this? Like you in the motherfucking...
Great example of how it's everybody else's fault for what she's doing, by the way. Yeah. Oh gosh, Fuzzy B, you missed all the rolling up. It's early on in the video, by the way.
Sorry for my road rage.
Sorry for her road rage.
Like, I woke up on some shit. But guess what? I'm still gonna pop it. 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 And I'm always gonna pop it. And I'm telling you to pop it. Pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, pop it, baby. Because I see a lot of people changing their life by just talking shit. Like, I really know that they probably woke up. Look at this. Perfect. But I'm going to wrap the raw paper right there.
She seen plenty of people just make their lives from talking shit. Just to remind you that this is from 2 weeks ago. The day of the interview.
But yeah, like, I know people probably like, the people who be popping their shit, they probably looked at it like they woke up one day and they was like,
yes,
I'm the
yeah,
shit.
all over but on the wheel, by the way. They're never on the, they're never actually on the wheel.
Push you.
Never once in the entirety of the footage. Not once.
Where you need to be. Or just that excitement. It don't gotta be anger all the time, but just use any emotion. You know what I'm saying?
What's even worse is I know exactly where this is because I live in LA, so I know exactly where that is. So it's like, oh my God, she's on the same streets as me.
I need to do my makeup.
Thank goodness I don't live close by there. Like, holy shit.
I could look a certain type of way. But no matter what's going on,
but it still makes me want to be like...
I just decided that I'm just going to pop my shit every single time. And I feel like people need to hear somebody popping their shit so that they can feel comfortable doing it. Because, we are followers in this world. We sometimes feel like we need somebody else to do it first. Like, let me see if this going to work for them. No, just know that it's going to work for you, bruh. Okay?
So it seems like very positive affirmations, very, very upbeat affirmations. Real quickly, I want to go back to the bathroom at Soft White Underbelly. Just to...
So I'm here at Soft White Underbelly. I'm doing my update video. It's a cute little location. I told him I lost my booty. They've been stressing me out so much. He said no. You still have your booty. Let's see. Not really, but yeah. Okay, so I'm about to do my thing, y'all. It's been a long time coming. I haven't had my interview since last year, and it seems like I'm gonna be a regular here, letting people know the update of my life, because the internet just be running with it. Like, no, the interview.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Are you hands on the way? If I see her at some point, I will literally scream, "I hope your hands are on the Put your fucking hands on the wheel! Yeah, no, I would be, yes. That's actually, hold on a second. Let me get the correct. Put your hands on the fucking wheel! Ah! Yeah, that's the correct response to that, by the way, folks. Just so you know. That is definitely where her hands, if you missed it, she rolled an entire blunt and streamed while looking at the camera. No hands on the wheel. This is not a Tesla. That is just a plain old Mercedes-Benz she got there. Yeah.
Is here for the real deal. You want to hear from the horse's mouth? You can hear from the horse's mouth, baby. So yeah, stay tuned. This will probably be out in a few weeks. Yeah, that's how he did it last time. I did it and then it came out in like 2 weeks. So it will be out top of next year or probably this month. Let me, don't give me the line. So you guys wish me luck and what else? I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Just a reminder, she's actually just driven there and just gotten there. So now she's bathing when she got there? Makes me think that maybe she washed it up good. Don't know about you, but washed it up good. Okay? Anyway. Or is she just puffing? Is she just puffing? She's just puffing. Now she's popping. She was puffing, now she's popping.
Bye, y'all.
Yes. So she tastes a
I will
monster.
be in this book, The Many Faces of Soft White Underbelly.
By the way, Rob Rack seen
Period. Fresh from out this interview, baby.
Talking to
When I tell
the
you, baby, I don't play when it come to me.
craziest crossover ever. Ben Thorpe, Grace Thorpe, talking to Rob Rack, which is where that song "Mustard Pussy" comes from. And then he he didn't write that song. It was in honor of, or in honor. Anyway. It's about him.
Baby, mama gotta feed these kids, baby.
This is just after the interview, and this is the follow-up interview. She knows that her daughter has done the interview. Yeah, they're still talking. Last time I saw him was last week. He was giving Grace heartfelt advice. It's amazing. It's like a softer side of Rob. So, this is her attitude after the interview. It's about the money. It's not about, oh, my daughter did this interview. Oh, I'm following up. Oh, no. It's about, I got paid.
Because, listen, you guys want to talk all of this stuff about me, but let me tell you, I'm a legend out here in these streets, and if y'all don't want to believe me, that's just on y'all. They're going crazy on the internet.
Are you and C-Mac back together again? Depends on what week I ask you, right?
Yeah, we were together and I kind of like dipped out a little bit. We broke up for right now. We're like a on and off relationship.
Mm-hmm. He's an interesting character.
Oh yeah, but I don't.
You're an interesting couple.
Right. I don't think that he can really handle me, honestly, so I kind of have to dip out this go-round. Like, I have to really make some things happen for myself and my daughter, and he does not like my daughter being on the street. So we're arguing about that all.
Do you like your daughter?
I expected as much. And I want to tell you, the man that she's dating is well aware of the darkness, well aware of the programs, well aware of plays on the street. And if that person, despite their general behavior and their demeanors, might shock you for the actual ethic and morality of their behaviors and how they see the unfortunate business of what they're involved in. Because one of the odd traits of real criminals, folks that are somewhere in life because of their associations to crime or possible crime or gangs, they don't take the abuse of children. They don't take family abuse. They don't take any of that stuff lightly. And they definitely don't involve people that'll attract that kind of attention, much less would they want somebody they care about having their child out on the street. It makes them look bad. It pulls from their honor. It pulls from their capability. Believe it or not. It pulls from their face. And so, of course, her boyfriend is not going to endorse that behavior. So it's amazing that she is responding by saying that he can't handle her because her daughter is on the street, which, that right there suggests a connection to why her daughter's on the street.
On the streets?
Heck no. It was just her birthday. I'll talk about that, and I'm gonna tell you what she did. She is off the chain.
Is she following in mom's footsteps?
See, what I think she's doing, she's following in my highlights. She's trying to... So, are we starting?
She's following in her highlights. What does that even fucking mean? No, she's mimicking you, ma'am. Are we starting? You're already rolling. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
I feel like my daughter she's trying to be like how my interviews are or how I am now, and she's not realizing that.
Right off the bat, she believes her daughter is trying to be like her. And instead of saying, I don't want my daughter like that, she's chastising the fact that her own daughter's mimicking her behavior, acting like that's a shock, or that is a slight to her own daughter in competition.
In between that, I went through a lot of stuff, and that's what I tried to say in the interview, not because of her, because that was my truth. My daughter was running away at that time, but I didn't know she was going to be on FIG. I thought she was just running away, and I was just telling my truth.
She's a very bright young girl.
Thank you. And you know, I tried to groom her the best way that I could, but she picks up back.
That's unfortunate language.
Telling my truth.
She's a very bright young girl.
Thank you. And you know, I tried to groom her the best way that I could, but she picks up bad habits out on the streets, and I don't like that.
How does she get on the streets, ma'am? She's a minor. She doesn't even have to be there. You pulled her from her home where she felt safe and brought her to the streets. That is the gap in her portion of the story.
Every time I see her, like I just seen her, like, okay, her birthday was 5 days ago, and she was on live, okay, taking a Percocet. And I'm like, what? And people were hitting me up like, your daughter's on live crying for you. So I called her phone, like, where are you at? Like, happy birthday.
Okay, so there's a leap. So I see her on live and she's taking a Percocet. And then people contact me and say that she's on live calling for me. So which is it, ma'am? No, it's both. You watched the live. You watched your daughter take drugs and you didn't do anything. Where was your daughter? You didn't go find her?
I already said happy birthday to her. I made a post on Instagram because one thing about her is she's on Instagram a lot. You can hit her phone, nothing. But as soon as you go on Instagram, she's responding. So that's why I go on Instagram. And I hit her up on Instagram. No, I made a post about her.
Okay, she's not a rock star. She's not one of your friends. She's your fucking daughter. I hit her up on Instagram. No, you go find her.
And then that's when people were like, oh, she's on live right now. So then I called her phone, like, are you on live? And she ended up answering. She's like, yeah, Mom, where are you at? So I went to go pick her up. She was at the Slauson Swap meet. I went to go pick her up. She said her friend left her. I just was like talking to her and whoever she was with somebody else. She was like, oh, we got left. I'm like,
Sun Dormant, she's actually talking about her 14-year-old daughter.
your birthday, you need to watch who you're around, da, da, da. All I could do at this point, Mark, the streets got my daughter's head. I'm talking about there's nothing that I could even say to her. Like, I could pep talk her, I could give her good pointers, anything.
I could pep talk her, I could give her good pointers, anything. I mean, I think we know what she kind of means by that, but she's saying all the things that you don't say that she actually did. And let me remind you, the reason she's doing this interview is because she felt that she needed a follow-up due to the fact her daughter did an interview. And this is the re-uploaded interview with the blurred chest.
I used to be around these girls from Front Street, and they had this, the girl that they was with wasn't from their hood, but she used to be around them. They used to call each other like sister, Fable, and all that stuff. And the girls seen how them girls used to try to bully me, and they didn't like me for some reason. They had some type of animosity towards me. And the girl that was with them, she seen like, I don't like how they treating you. You something better than that. Da-da-da. We could be getting money out here. Da-da-da. So a couple months later, she texted me at like 3 o'clock in the morning and was like, what you doing? I'm like, nothing. Laying down. I'm like, what you doing? She like, I'm out trapping. And I'm like, trapping? She sent the picture and I'm like, you do that now? And she like, yeah, it's fast money. You should do it with me. So
whoever this was wrote a 13-year-old at 3 a.m. and asked them if they wanted to come out trapping in Los Angeles on the Blade, Figueroa, downtown LA.
The next day, I texted her like, can you come get me? My mama acting weird. My mama was acting weird. She was threatening me to kick me out, break my phone, all this. I'm like, can you come get me? So she was like, yeah. I told my mom, I'm like, I'm about to go do a TikTok downstairs. And she was like, okay. And I'm like, can I do a TikTok in your car? Da-da-da. She gave me the keys. I put the keys next to the door, and I ran away. I went, and I...
Reminds you of many cases there in Argentina. Bad parents justifying why their kids do drugs or work on the street. People there always give the parents pity, not accountability. And in Sun Dorman, this is the issue here, is that mom is seemingly unaware of her own accountability, much less she's looking for accountability out of Mark Leda, who also has accountability. But the fact is that her mother is a prostitute and took her out of a safe home. Her mother doesn't even have custody of her. Took her out of the safe home and brought her to East LA, and then after the fact began kicking her out, as she says. I think it's despicable because it seems like intent to turn her out.
Got in the car, and she was with this nigga. He had tattoos all over his face. He was playing music. He looked like a gangbanger. He was a gangbanger. He was a pimp, and I didn't even know that he was a pimp. So we had went to the Crenshaw Mall.
So your mom, just for those that are not aware, your mom was working as a prostitute as well?
I don't know.
That's what she told me in that interview that she did with me.
She told you that?
Yeah.
Okay, so right there, she actually has the response that, one, she knows her mom is a prostitute, but she's clearly been told, don't say anything about it. She smiles, and when he says, she says that in the other interview, she goes, oh, she told you that? And then she's smiling, because of course she knows. Of course she knows what her mom does.
My mom called the police. Texas has different laws, and they took her to jail for assault. When they took her to jail for assault, she went to jail for 2 weeks. My mom was like, don't talk to her. Don't put, no money on the phone. Like, let her really, suffer. I couldn't let my baby suffer because I'm like, this is her first time. Like, I don't want her talking to nobody. And I feel like the only wrong thing that I have done as a mother is kind of, be too lenient with her, or nice, because she's me. I see innocent, pretty, cute face. I'm like, oh, baby. But then when she be doing...
Innocent, pretty, cute face. That's what she sees in her own daughter. and her mother's telling her not to help her 13-year-old daughter in jail in Texas. Think about that for a hot second. The adults are all trying to remove their own accountability and care for their own child. Doesn't really matter what the kid has done. You have an obligation to make sure your own child is okay.
What she doing, I don't be right there. Like when she busted the TVs, I'm not right there. When she's on FIG, I'm not right there. That's why she has to run away to do it, because if she could do it in my house, she would do it. Like
Has all the attention, the social media fame been a problem? I mean, that's what it seems like to be the problem with you guys.
Man, a total problem. Like, I think she likes it. I really think that she likes it. I think you like
it too, though.
This is where the issue comes in. Mom, apparently, is more interested in the social media attention, and she thinks her daughter is trying to compete for it.
Oh, no. I mean, I like it as far as, you know me, I'm like a motivational speaker too. So I like to get my story out there, be transparent, to kind of like vent myself and to help others, like for real shit. Like, I could be down and out and I'll still help somebody, you know, because it's just in me. I'm not like, oh, I gotta wait till I get my shit together, then I'm gonna help you. No. And then it's therapeutic for me, talking about my problems to other women or young girls or whatever. But my daughter, I never knew that would be the young girl that I would have to
her own daughter. I never knew that would be the young girl that I would have to, you mean watch over and be a mother to and make sure she didn't end up on the street and you wouldn't throw her out as a minor? No wonder you don't have custody of her.
Motivate, set a good example for her, but
set a good example for her. What how do you do that, man? She's doing exactly what you are doing, so she's mimicking you.
You could set a good example, but she not looking at me. She probably looking at Sexy Red. Y'all saying me, I see the comments, oh, you know, apple don't fall too far from the tree. She has a father, too, that is off the goddamn chain. First of all, he was doing the same shit at 12 years old, robbing, stealing, and doing all that stuff. You get what I'm saying? From his family and burning his...
Oh, so it doesn't have anything to do with the lack of parental oversight. It has to do with who her dad was. Okay,
bridges with his family. And something that he did at 12 years old is still kicking his ass right now. We're not going to say, but, you know, the streets is a motherfucker. So it's like, I tell my daughter, like, you know what you're doing right now, you're molding your life. Fuck what I did. Fuck what somebody else did. This is your life. You know, she don't care about that motivational shit. She don't care about that Black Power, Sister Soldier shit. She don't care. So I'm like, okay. And I am a sweet woman. I am a sweet girl, but
she's a child. She doesn't. It's not supposed to care about that. She's not supposed to care about that. She's supposed to have a parent that has authority enough to take her out of the bad situation. She's not a fucking adult.
Spicy side, Mark, and I don't think that my daughter really can handle. Remember, I was talking about my mom, how strict she was, like. She wants me to be more of her.
Okay, so this is so apparently now her daughter can't handle her.
Black Power, Sister Soldier shit. She don't care. So I'm like, okay. And I am a sweet woman. I am a sweet girl, but I do have a feisty side, Mark.
Feisty,
and I don't think that my daughter really can handle. Remember, I was talking about my mom, how strict she was.
So it's up to her daughter to handle her feisty side. Interesting.
Like, she wants me to be more of her friend. You know, but I'm not your friend, I'm your mom. So when I discipline you, you can't just jet out. And then she calls me, oh, Mom. Like, she calls me, like, last night. Oh, yeah, I just got into it with this.
So, first and foremost, that kind of behavior doesn't come because the child decides that you're her friend. It comes because you treat the child like she's your friend. And that sounds like how that's been developed. This is wild, right?
Girl, I told her I was on such and such street. I don't care if she pulls up. I'm like, why are you starting shit? She like, it's okay, Mom. I don't care because everybody want to fight me anyway. So she just causes all these problems.
Is she not in school right now?
She don't want to go to school. She do not want to go to school. This girl cannot, even when I had her for her birthday. Bro, you have to be at home for at least 2 days for me to even check you in. Then the way she just abruptly just comes, you know, it'll be the weekend and then she'll get a few days.
13.
She's acting like Well, she just has full control and agency over her own world. She's fucking 14. She doesn't even have a license. How the hell is she getting around? No, that's when you move out of the city of where you're at. Clearly, you have enough money to fucking pick up and go.
14-year-old should be in school.
Yeah, that should be in school, and she does not want to go. It's like,
Okay, that's your responsibility, ma'am. You're the adult in the situation, right? Like, right?
drag her to school, but all she gonna do is cause problems. In Texas, she was getting in trouble at school. They were putting her in like in school suspension, ISS, right? Where you're in trouble at school. Then they kicked her out of the school. How about this? So she was already on the little Texas probation, and they told me like, oh yeah, she's gonna have to go to an alternative school. I'm like,
okay, so it all seems like shame language. Like instead of concern, it's, oh, she was gonna go to this. She just messed it up. Like, she really has no accountability for what's going on with her daughter. She has no sense that she's responsible for that child. She has, from what Lita says, 4 others.
I'm not about to be in all this in Texas when I could be doing this. You gonna fuck around and get hung in the South, messing with these people. So I'm just like, you know what? So I asked her when we came back to LA, I said, okay, you're turning, and this was last year, I said, you're turning 13. So what are you trying to do with your life? I just want to go stay with my grandma. So I drove from out there. We went to grandma's house. Grandma was like, my granny was like, I'm too old. I can't take no kids, especially no disrespectful kids. So I said, please just help me. You know, she said she's gonna do good. I dropped her off. 24 hours later, I'm getting a phone call talking about, this is my grandma, crying in tears. Oh, she just Cash App $300 from my Cash App to somebody else, because my grandma live in the Valley. She's like, Marina Valley. She's like, that was my last of my money. She was like, I think she got an Uber because whatever. So we found out she got an Uber. Because my credit card just called me and told me she tried to charge that first and it didn't work. So she went to my Cash App. So now you robbing your grandma. Now it reminds me of her dad. So I'm like, you know what, bruh? But at the end of the day, I already know life is just full of adversity. You know what I'm saying? And no matter what, you have to keep on going.
And you have 4 other kids still.
Yes, and I have 4 other kids, and you have to keep on going. So imagine if because of her
imagine having
sassy.
5 of these.
Oh, and I have 4 girls too.
Yeah.
So, what's your plan on changing your behavior so that doesn't happen again? Because clearly you haven't been taking care of your daughter very well to the point where she's just out of control and she's a child. She's not an adult. They're talking about her as if she's a lost cause as an adult. The fuck is wrong with people, man?
They're gonna be like my big sister. Also, my daughter, Miss Alea, she's 4. She's like, when I got back home, she's like, Mom, Nene busted the TV. Nova, but Nene busted the TV up. And it's just like they're seeing this type of stuff. You get what I'm saying? If I didn't care about her, she wouldn't be nowhere near me. If I cared about what the internet said, or she's something else. Like,
if I cared about her, she wouldn't be anywhere near. She's talking about her own daughter. If I cared about what the internet said, what are you talking about, ma'am? That's your fucking daughter. I feel like I'm really desensitized to stories like this, Son Dormant said. I know it's bad, but I can't help but laugh a little. Growing up here, you hear like stuff like that too much. Oh, wow. Well, Argentina does have its, it is, I guess it's weird to think, but Argentina, I guess, isn't first world. It's still second world. So that I've been all through South America, and there's, I've seen things in Brazil, that ways of living and children living on the street at a very young age, and it's terrible. Oh, thank you, Son Dormant. I appreciate it. I do my best. I saw this and I felt like somebody had to at least put the story together a little bit broader, because people are focusing on Nova, obviously, and why Mark later would share this, but and how Mom gave consent. But I felt like it was not really out there as a cohesive picture to understand kind of the larger environment. And it's telling to me that she said Max C doesn't like the fact that her daughter's on the street. Yeah, I bet he doesn't. I bet it bothers the fuck out of him. Haha, good for you, Sun Dorman. I actually have some relatives in Argentina, by the way. And then they and some of those relatives split off to Australia. So, by the way, so it all started in Poland, either way. So.
And then the minute she left and did that, before I could get to her, she was already online. Like, my mother, she called me weird. You was just talking to me. I just picked you up for your birthday. I just spent like $400, $500 on you on your birthday. Even though money is not nothing, because we know she can go get it. But it's just the point, like, would your mother, who didn't care about you, spend her earned...
I just to break out everything that was just said there. We know she can go earn that money. In other words, we know that she can go earn that money on the street, but that's not even a consideration of the problem. And you worrying about your daughter who's on the street being selfish, that's the least of the issues. And all of it, it's just absurd to me. All the focus is in all the wrong places. And I really think that's on purpose, as if you just keep focusing outside of yourself, you'll never notice that you're the fucking problem, apparently.
I didn't put it online that I did it. I didn't vlog and say, oh yeah, we're going shopping. I didn't let Instagram know. I was low-key, Mark, before she really was out here. I had to put out a missing report for her and everything. You know what I'm saying? So I had to put myself in her situation.
And everything. She had to put out a missing report for her 13-year-old daughter and everything. So honestly, though, one of the things that I think is important that we note is that there's a very similar kind of a get down going on here with the language and the behaviors of having her daughter incarcerated and seeking help via soft white underbelly. And the last time we saw this was Amanda Rabb getting help through Lima Jovovich. And in the other video, after the interview, explaining why her daughter's first interview went up with see-through top and no blur, and where the consent came from, she actually says towards the end here, and I'm going to play it for you now, once again.
That's why the internet is going crazy, on me, because of the things that you do, girl. You just be lying. I know. She like, and Mom, guess what? Listen to this. And he gave me 300, but he gave me 200 more because he told me if I want more, wear something more revealing. So that's why she wore that top. His request. He gave her more. So at the end of the day, they're saying I need to be in jail. What? I wasn't there. And if I wouldn't have gave consent, nobody wouldn't have known that he recorded my daughter. Period, point blank. It would have been in the archives. So people saying, oh, but you could sue him. You could still sue. What was you doing? Interviewing a young girl without her parent, with her nipples showing, then took it off YouTube, put it back up, blurred it out. Just so sloppy.
What is he doing? Well, he already knew he had an agreement with you, because you had a follow-up coming there later. He had spoken to you about this and asked you where she was, and I was asking you if you could bring her in, and you said no. But likely it's because you didn't actually have custody of your daughter, and you don't have custody of your daughter. By law, you don't have custody of your daughter. No one can give consent except for maybe the grandparents or perhaps the law. But more importantly, what's important here is to recognize what she says coming up.
I'm saying, and I've been doing a lot of research, which I should have done. Child, ain't nobody about to do no experiment on me or my daughter. In Jesus' name, period. I speak into the universe. I'm very powerful, okay? I am, and my daughter is not about to be in you guys' cults. It's not going to happen like that. Now, I thought that maybe, you can recommend some help because people be having resources. You interview all these people. You have all these subscribers. I mean, duh. I'm the one that's more like skeptical on, is it gonna work or is it gonna make my baby worse? Because it's my baby at the end of the day. It's my child. I'm the mama. And I said what I said. Period. So, you know, y'all get on my nerves. If you guys have any legal advice, if you guys have any pointers or whatever, because I know y'all like to chew me out, but there is people out there that, you know, wants to help and really understands what I'm going through. Really understands what I'm going through. It's somebody out there that really understands what I'm going through, man. And somebody who, you know.
I was actually supposed to fly in for her transfer to outpatient care, and
thank you
she
for being
never
here,
got
Sun Dorman. I
transferred,
appreciate
so
it.
she remained at residential care, so she had 24/7 supervision. Any foul play, any self-harm, anything in that nature was already ruled out. So she died of physical, natural causes. And so I think it's really important to note for everybody watching that mental health.
Rude. Can't complain.
Sorry.
Except for the fact that the whole story I'm covering tonight, well, I can't complain, is about a 14-year-old girl that Mark later, well, now she's 14. She was 13 when he videoed her. Videoed without there being any consenting party, and he videoed her about her prostitution on in downtown LA. And there's some strange connection in the mom's relationship to Mark Leda and the relationship to No Jumper and this person above me, Lima Jovrovich, and who she's talking about, Amanda Rabb, who was found on the street. And then given help and sourced help.
Talking to myself.
Via soft white underbelly.
And a few other people that have known you in the past are trying to help you.
No, they're not. Nothing's good as crack.
It's what?
It's not getting easier.
It's not getting easier.
No.
Wow.
It's real hard on me. I crave the drug like 24/7. Yeah.
And looking back now, do you regret ever getting involved in that in the first place?
No.
You don't regret it?
No.
Really?
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest.
Wow.
Yeah, it's real hard on me being here.
Do you have any moments where you're thinking that you want to go back to that life?
Yeah, all the time. That's the problem with these rehabs. They're kicking people out only 30 days.
30 days? Look who you were at 30 days.
So what we're watching is a quick mix of Amanda's timeline before she passed. But at this time, she had been put into the care of Lima Jovrovich via the help of soft white underbelly, due to the fact that Amanda's father claims that she attacked her with a pipe. And that way they threw her in jail. And that allowed Lima to become her caretaker. Now, in the case of Nova, what we're looking at is a story where she doesn't have a current caretaker, where she doesn't even have, her mother doesn't even have custody of her.
Real quick, I want to address something. My name is Tania. Skeptical on, is it gonna work or is it gonna make my baby worse?
What is she talking about here? She's talking about an
Ain't nobody about to
experiment.
do no experiment on me or my daughter. In Jesus' name, period. I speak into the universe. I'm very powerful, okay? I am, and my daughter is not about to be in you guys' cults. It's not gonna happen like that.
The only thing I can assume is that the background or the information she says she should have researched, was the association to Lima Jovrovich and the help that it seems like
What?
she's
I
making a
wasn't there.
veiled
And if I wouldn't have gave consent, nobody would have
Suggestion.
known that he recorded my daughter.
She's making a veiled
Period, point
suggestion
blank. It
that
would have
there's
been in
some
the
help
archives.
being offered here.
So people saying, oh, but you know, you could sue him. You could still sue. What was you doing? Interviewing a young girl without her parent, with her nipples showing, then took it off YouTube, put it back up, blurred it out. Just so sloppy. You get what I'm saying?
It's not horrible, it's sloppy. Once again, her mom is in more competition with her own daughter than concerned about the fact that her daughter is being filmed in a horrible state and working on Figueroa. Once again, none of these people are concerned about money.
And I've been doing a lot of research, which I should have done. Child, ain't nobody about to do no experiment on me or my daughter. In Jesus' name, period. I speak it to the universe. I'm very powerful, okay? I am, and my daughter is not about to be in you guys' cults. It's not gonna happen like that. Now, I thought that maybe, you know, you can recommend some help because people be having resources. You interview all these people, you have all these subscribers. I mean, duh. I'm the one that's more like skeptical on, is it gonna work or is it gonna make my baby worse?
What is she talking about? I can only assume.
Make entertainment out of the situation, taking people's pain and turning it into like views and clicks.
Well, they take a lot of information out of context.
Yeah.
They make up some information and create a sensational video that makes it look like
Yeah.
you were up to no good, or somebody's up to no good, or Larry was molesting his daughter, which Amanda did say at one point when at the very first interview, but she straightened that out later when she was cogent and sober as a judge, that she was just saying that just because she said that about everybody. I mean, I interviewed Amanda maybe more than 100 times. You only see about 8 or 9 of them on this channel, but she would say, you know, he's a molester. She would say that all the time.
It makes
About
me wonder.
everyone, and also when Amanda started getting to a place where she was doing better.
How many times did he actually interview?
She was calling me every day just to check
Tania
up on me.
and,
You know, we were friends. Like
did
we
he
had a really
interview
close
Nova more than
relationship.
once?
And when she got to a point where she actually watched her videos with you, she was mortified about what she had said about Larry. And she had said it to me at least on 3 separate occasions where, when can I shoot with Mark? When can I shoot with Mark? I really want to straighten out what I said about my dad.
All right, so Lima Yavramovich.
Yavramovich.
You have a company
Yeah.
called Aura.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you guys do?
So we're all about data-driven healing. Our goal is to use technology to scale affordable, high-quality treatment services.
Now, what does that actually mean?
How did you?
In the end, we've come to find that it means VR treatments and supplements. It means a program that may have actually been tested within the Navy Science R&D group, or at least farmed through that via the Instagram posts that we found in previous shows. But what does it really mean? It means that she was using VR on patients to influence their behaviors via exposure therapy. And the response from the first person that the public knew of outwardly, the first response would have been Amanda Rabb. And that outcome is as follows.
Yeah, so the reason that it took so long is because there was a lot of lack of documentation because Amanda was homeless. And so basically what they used was they did the autopsy, they looked at her medical records, and then Larry and I also sent in your videos to kind of show her condition from the drug use and the beatings that she took. And we also had some photographs. And so I'm just gonna read it word for word of what we got. The cause of death was marked as a seizure disorder. Amanda never had seizures prior to being homeless. And they believe that it was post-traumatic epilepsy, but they couldn't mark it as post-traumatic epilepsy because of a lack of evidence. So they couldn't tell if the seizures are from past drug use or traumatic brain injury from the assault, since the assaults were not well documented. And then in brackets, they put police reports or hospital records. And so they just marked it as a seizure disorder.
So, for the audience's edifice, for those of you that aren't aware or haven't seen the larger portion of my sharing this story, everything she's reading right here is a fabrication. She's not actually reading the report at all. That's not what the report says. I've covered it elsewhere a couple of times now. The report says none of this. Amanda died of a heart attack in her sleep, likely due to a conflagration of drugs that she was being given. But we still don't know, and we'll never know, because her body was cremated before an autopsy could be done. This is another example of what happens to somebody after the treatment of Lima Jovovich. This is one of Lima's two sisters. This is Dahlia, one of the two twins. This is after the treatment. This is before the treatment. She'd be on the left.
Michael, we're so glad you could join us. May Michael enter the trust circle?
Welcome, Michael. Welcome. Welcome to our trust circle.
Have a seat next to Holly.
Dia and Dahlia wrote, produced, directed, and edited most of these. At one point, in 2016 to 2018, they had gathered
Be as honest as you can.
10,000 subscribers and had pinnacled a couple years ago at about 14,000.
Last week, Timothy, you spoke about your struggle with depression.
Yes.
Now, mind you,
when I look in the mirror, I just feel ugly.
After 2018, they stopped posting,
to get up in the morning,
and that's when the troubles began.
The point.
Okay.
I am just.
And the next thing we see of them.
So sad.
Well, remember, Timothy, it's not your job to please.
My bad, that's the wrong one. The next time you see them, let's try that one again. It's called a finger slip of the button. The next time you see them, you don't see Dia, but you do see Dahlia.
Oh, sure, am I recording?
And this is her state of being. In any case, you can see that there is a distinct difference between just a couple of years. This is 2020. The last video I showed you is 2018. Amanda Rabb passed away in 2021. Bam Margera, from 2021 until just earlier this year, was under the care of Lima Jovovich and being pushed around through different care systems outside of his control, with Lima as his caretaker. So my concern here is that the experiment that Tanea is talking about, the cult, the help.
Because it's my baby at the end of the day. It's my child. If I wouldn't have gave consent, nobody wouldn't have known. that
this is
recorded my
actually
daughter. Period, point blank. It would have been in the
part
archives.
of
So people saying
gathering up somebody else.
You could still sue. What was you doing? Interviewing a young girl without her parent, with her nipples showing, then took it off YouTube, put it back up, blurred it out. Just so sloppy. You get what I'm saying? And I've been doing a lot of research, which I should have done. Child, ain't nobody about to do no experiment on me or my daughter. In Jesus' name, period. I speak into the universe. I'm very powerful, okay? I am, and my daughter is not about to be in you guys' cults. It's not gonna happen like that. Now, I thought that maybe, you can recommend some help because people be having resources. You interview all these people, you have all these subscribers. I mean, duh. I'm the one that's more like skeptical on, is it gonna work or is it gonna make my baby worse?
Is it gonna work or is it gonna make my baby worse? Based off of what I've seen, if you're talking about Aura or Lima or anything that soft white underbelly might be associated to, I'm not really seeing people get help. He did help an Appalachian family buy a house, but are they better off or are they just more well suited for him to film them? I see a lot of usury, a lot of exploitation, a lot of bad behavior, all just escaping accountability. And then the one person who's being held accountable in this situation, may I remind you, is a 14-year-old girl a week or two after her 14th birthday. And her mom wasn't concerned about the lies of, or the possibility that she was telling the truth that she's out on the street. No. She was concerned about clearing her name about the lies her daughter claims to have told. Now, we don't have video of that. We just have the picture of her crying. Isn't that convenient for mom? Or at least her mindset, because no matter what, you can't escape accountability for that.
I lied so much about you, Mom. I'm like, oh. She said, I lied so much about you, Mom. And I said, girl, why was you lying? Because I know that she lies. But I'm like, why was you lying? Because I didn't want to show no emotion of being mad, because then she was going to shut down. You know how kids are. They don't express themselves when you're mad now. So I'm just keeping it cool. So I'm like, girl, I'm like, yeah, that's why the internet is going crazy, on me, because of the things that you do, girl. You just be lying. I know.
Once again, the internet is going crazy on her because of the things her daughter's doing, not because of the lack of oversight or care or concern or the situation at hand. What solves this issue? What really does solve this? On the meta, it's only the things you can catch, which is horrible. Because there are so many people out there, clearly, that are willing to take advantage of the vulnerable. To me, and I could be completely wrong, I'm speculating here, it sounds to me like she took her daughter out of a safe place with the excuse that she was out of control and brought her to East LA when she didn't have custody of her and kept throwing her out. Which, at 12 or 13, that's criminal, actually. My understanding, that would be criminal. That's endangerment, right? That's neglect. So she's admitted it repeatedly on camera. Secondly, on top of that, she's acting as if her child is uncontrollable to the point where she's an adult, and she's not. So I think the solution is that mom gets held accountable. She should listen to her boyfriend. Get her daughter off the street. And I thought about covering her boyfriend But I realized after she said that and looking at his behaviors, he's just a boyfriend. And she's apparently as wild as one would expect when it comes to that too, as she describes herself in the interview at Soft White Underbelly. There's no rationalization for why any of this is allowed, or why it's not being viewed by law enforcement, or why she hasn't been picked up, in my opinion, but that her daughter is in jail. Well, according to this, if this is true, then she'd be out by now, and she'll have picked her up. Will that change things? I don't believe so, because it seems like her mother is doing the same thing. Her mother is the reason she's out there on the street. So this girl needs help. This person needs help from somebody in the community who knows her, who actually cares about her, who's related to her. She needs somebody to extract her from that environment, because otherwise she's going to just be there. And I mean, you have to extract that kind of person off to the woods. You have to, especially when they're that deep influenced by bad shit. You have to give them the complete difference so they're removed from it so they can't get access to it. And the worst possible situation in this scenario, to me, is the possibility that she'd end up in the care of somebody who's already lost one of their patients, whose sisters, for all intents and purposes, have been out of the public sight for some time, and the one that we have seen is not in her right mind and not well, as opposed to when the last time we saw her in the public and she was making videos with her twin sister, directing and producing. It's a curious situation that seems to go dark down into the well of the rabbit hole. And I wish there was a solution. I wish there was an answer tonight. Which was my initial hesitation in sharing the story, because there is no resolution to this. It is left to the wind and left to the hope that somebody will notice the story. That somebody will do something more than nothing. It's not my position to do anything other than say, hey, there's somebody out there on the street. And I can assure you, law enforcement has to have known about her. There are, it's not that common. Why has no one done anything about Tania? I don't know. It suggests there are larger forces involved. And when you think about the surroundings of the story, Mark Leda, the people he's been associated to, the suggestion that she doesn't want her daughter involved in an experiment, those powers may go way further than we would ever want to allow ourselves to believe they do. And I will be talking about this further and in very great detail, utilizing government report and paperwork, as I bring us this week to the story of the Finders. If you thought that people were being abducted and utilized for terrible things, you were right. It's just not who you think is doing it. And I have the paperwork, I have the reports, I have the previously classified information, all 600 pages of it, and I'm going to share it with you guys. There's more to this story than any of us should ever want to know. And that leaves it up to us, you and I, individually. When we see it, where we see it, and how we see it, to speak about it, and to not remain silent. It is up to us to not watch people fall. Watch people end up in their own mental prisons. It's up to us, you and I, individually, one at a time, to not let mental prisons take over our mind or the minds of our loved ones. Rather, help smash them down. Don't let the Ben at the top of the obelisk, sucking all of the energy up, crush us. Pull your friends and loved ones out. Reach out with your hand, one at a time. Pull them from the mental prison. Be the flower that sows the seed that grows into a beautiful bloom so that the bees may carry the pollen one at a time off into the world. So that the positivity, the love that you share, the hope that you share, the grace that you share carries on one at a time. That's all we can do. There are law enforcement services. If you feel strongly, do what you need to do. I won't hold it against you. More importantly, if we see this in our own life, when someone's about to fall, when you see that low bar coming in, it's up to us, friends, because nobody else is going to scream out. Look up.
Yeah.
Never even recorded you. Oh God, I never recorded you. You said I listened to you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, you basically said.
Please do, if you haven't already liked and subscribed. I'll be back on tomorrow night with Return of the Flying Pig. Not the ministry, but just an all-out jam of weirdness. We're just going to look at a bunch of silly shit. We're going to be silly. And by the way, talk about some sexy time sexiness. Totally polar opposite of this evening. And thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Don't forget, this girl is still in jeopardy. She's still out there on the street. She just got out of jail. Hopefully she's in a safe place. Keep her in your mind. Think good thoughts for her. And if you see someone else in that position, help if you can.
And when you don't like going through my phone no more, so that's
most of all.
Right.
So I basically let you just make the choice.
Yeah, you let me.
And what?
Yeah, you
look up.
let me. You gave me more leeway now.
But I don't like what you're doing now.
You just don't let me leave. Like you like stay or you can't go this. You have to ask me.
Click.